Hello and welcome to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update in English. My name is Todd David Goldfinger, and here are today's top headlines. Just for you. Enjoy. U.S. government advisors met Wednesday to decide whether to endorse COVID-19 shots for babies, toddlers, and preschoolers, moving the nation closer to vaccinations for all ages. Kids under 5 are the last remaining age group in the U.S. to get vaccinated, and many parents have been anxiously awaiting the Food and Drug Administration's action to protect their little children. If all the regulatory hurdles are cleared, shots should be available next week. The independent advisory panel is considering tot-sized doses from two coronavirus vaccine makers, Pfizer and Moderna. Next news. Crews worked to restore water service Wednesday to the West Texas city of Odessa, where residents have been without water this week amid scorching temperatures after an aging pipe broke. The city's water treatment plant was back online by about 8 a.m. Wednesday, and utility officials said it could take 12 to 14 hours for the recharging process, during which workers slowly add water back into the system to ensure there are no mere leaks. The city water system's 165,000 customers' taps lost pressure or went completely dry after the 21-inch, 61-centimeter main broke Monday afternoon, according to the city's social media pages. Next news. Bart Barber is a staunch Southern Baptist conservative who would welcome bans on abortion, opposes critical race theory, and believes only men should serve as pastors. Yet Barber, elected Tuesday as the new president of the Southern Baptist Convention, says he has a track record of dialogue with those who disagree on those and other issues. He has called for an army of peacemakers amid bitter political battles in the nation's largest Protestant denomination. He defeated 3 other candidates and ultimately prevailed in a runoff vote at the SBC's national meeting in Anaheim. His closest rival, Tom Askell, had complained of too much wokeness in the denomination and sought to move it further to the right. Next news. New Mexico's Secretary of State on Tuesday asked the state Supreme Court to order the Republican-led Commission of Rural Otero County to certify primary election results after it refused to do so over distrust of Dominion vote tallying machines. Nice name. Democratic Secretary of State Maggie Toulouse Olive's request came a day after the 3-member Otero County Commission, in its role as a county canvassing board, voted unanimously against certifying the results of the June 7th primary without raising specific concerns about discrepancies. The commission's members include Cowboys for Trump co-founder Coy Griffin, who ascribes to unsubstantiate sorry, I gotta get this word right. Unsubstantiated claims that former President Donald J. Trump won the 2020 election. That's what they think. We're going to take a short break from the daily global English news of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please stay with us. Thank you. Hello, and welcome back to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update in English. Here is the continuation of today's top stories. Thank you for being with us. President Joe Biden on Wednesday called on U.S. oil refiners to produce more gasoline and diesel, saying their profits have tripled during a time of war between Russia and Ukraine as Americans struggle with record high prices at the pump. In quotes, the crunch that families are facing deserves immediate action, end quotes, Biden wrote in the draft of a letter to oil refiners obtained by the Associated Press. In quotes, your companies need to work with my administration to bring forward concrete, near-term solutions that address the crisis. End quotes. Thank you. Next news. The Environmental Protection Agency is warning that two non-stick and stain-resistant compounds found in drinking water pose health risks, even at levels so low they cannot currently be detected. The two compounds, known as PFOA and PFOS, have been voluntarily phased out by the U.S. manufacturers, but there are a limited number of ongoing uses, and the chemicals remain in the environment because they do not degrade over time. The compounds are part of a larger cluster of what's called forever chemicals, known as PFAS, that have been used in consumer products and industry since the 1940s. The EPA on Wednesday issued non-binding health advisories that set health risk thresholds for PFOA and PFOS to near zero, replacing 2016 guidelines that had set them at 70 parts per trillion. Next news, please. Adam Laxalt, a former state attorney general who has embraced lies about the 2020 election, had won the Republican nomination for a pivotal Nevada Senate seat, fending off a challenge from a political newcomer and setting up what will likely be a fierce and costly race against incumbent Catherine Cortez Masto, one of the most endangered Democrats in an evenly divided Senate. Laxalt enjoyed the backing of the Republican Party's most influential figures, ranging from former President Donald J. Trump to Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. But a late-stage challenge from political newcomer Sam Brown forced Laxalt to spend heavily in the final weeks of the primary campaign and tap into the support of some of his high-profile, particularly those with ties to Trump. Next news, please. U.S. Representative Tom Rice of South Carolina has been ousted from Congress in his Republican voting to impeach Donald J. Trump over the January 6th insurrection. He is the first of the 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach Trump to lose a re-election bid. Rice, a five-term congressman, was defeated Tuesday by State Representative Russell Fry, who was endorsed by Trump. Rice, who was a strong supporter of Trump's policies in Washington, but said he was left no choice but to impeach Trump over his failure to claim the mob that violently sought to stop the certification of Joe Biden's victory. U.S. Representative of South Carolina also angered Trump, but she sought to make amends and won her GOP primary over her own Trump-backed challenger. We're going to take a short break from the daily global English news of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please stay with us. We love you. Hello, and welcome back to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update. In English, here's the continuation of today's top stories. Thanks for being with us. The Supreme Court said Wednesday that the federal government improperly lowered drug reimbursement payments to hospitals and clinics that serve low-income communities, a reduction that cost the facilities billions of dollars. The High Court had a case involving payments for drugs, largely for cancer, that are used by Medicare patients in hospital outpatient departments. The Biden administration had stood by a Trump administration decision to reduce the payments. The government had said that the hospitals and clinics, because of their special status serving low-income communities, are able to buy the drugs at a deep discount. The government said reimbursing the hospitals called 340B hospitals. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Next news. The truck driver had the radio on, his daughter's stuffed toy keeping him company, and was bouncing his lumbering vehicle down one of the innumerable dirt tracks in Ukraine that are vital thoroughfares in the country's vast agricultural heartlands. Then the right rear wheel hit a Soviet-era TM-62 anti-tank mine. The explosion blew Vadim Shvadchenko and his daughter's toy clean out of the cabin. The truck and his livelihood went up in flames. Astoundingly, the 40-year-old escaped with just minor leg and head wounds. Others haven't been so lucky. Russia's war in Ukraine is spreading a deadly litter of mines, landmines, bombs, and other explosives. They are killing civilians, disrupting planting of crops, complicating the rebuilding of homes and villages, and are continuing to take lives and lands of the people long after the fighting stops. What a horror. Next news. The Russian military said Wednesday that it used long-range missiles to destroy a depot in the western Lviv region of Ukraine where ammunition for NATO-supplied weapons was being stored. Those strikes came as fighting raged for the city of Sievierodonetsk in the eastern Donbas region, the key focus of Russia's offensive in recent weeks. Russia-backed separatists accused Ukrainian forces of sabotaging an evacuation of civilians from the city's besieged Azot chemical plant, where about 500 civilians and an unknown number of Ukrainian fighters are believed to be sheltering. It wasn't possible to verify that claim. A humanitarian corridor from the Azot plant had been announced a day earlier by Russia. Next news. The British government vowed Wednesday to organize more flights to deport asylum seekers from around the world to Rwanda after a last-minute court judgment grounded the first plane due to takeoff under the contentious policy. Home Secretary Priti Patel said in quotes, "Preparation for the next flight begins now." Despite legal rulings that none of the migrants earmarked for deportation could be sent to the East African country. In quotes, "We will not be put off by the inevitable legal last-minute challenges," end quotes, Patel told lawmakers. Under a deal signed in April, Britain plans to send some migrants from countries including Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria who arrive illegally in Britain as stowaways or in small boats to Rwanda, where their asylum claims will be processed. If successful, they will stay in the African country rather than returning to jolly old Britain. We're going to take a short break from the daily global English news of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please stay with us. Hello? 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 Hello, and welcome back to the news. Um, an Israeli court on Wednesday found a Gaza aid worker guilty of several terrorism charges in a high profile case in which his employer, independent auditors, and the Australian government say they have found no evidence of wrongdoing. Mohammed El Halabi, the Gaza director for the international Christian charity World Vision, was arrested in 2016 and accused of diverting tens of millions of dollars to the Islamic militant group Hamas that rules the territory. The trial and his prolonged detention have further strained relations between Israel and humanitarian organizations that provide aid to Palestinians. Both he and World Vision have denied the allegations, and an independent audit in 2017 also found no evidence of support for Hamas. His lawyer, Maher Hanna, has said El Halabi turned down several plea bargain offers on principle that would have allowed him to walk free. Next news. Next news, yeah, thank you. The London-based tribute concert for Foo Fighters' late drummer Taylor Hawkins will include Queen's Brian May and Roger Taylor, Rush's Geddy Lee, and Alex Lifeson, Pretenders frontwoman Chrissie Hynde, Oasis's Liam Gallagher, and comedian Dave Chappelle. Love him. Others announced are Jane's Addiction, Chris Cheney, the Police's Stuart Copeland, Omar Hakim, Rufus Taylor, Wolfgang Van Halen, and Taylor Hawkins' cover band Chevy Metal, like the car Chevy. The show will take place September 3rd at London's Wembley Stadium, and another is scheduled for September 27th at the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. The performers for the US concert are to be revealed later. Both concerts will benefit charities chosen by the Taylor Hawkins family. Hawkins died March 25th during a South American tour with the rock band Foo Fighters. He was 50. Hawkins joined Foo Fighters in 1997, first appearing with the band on the tour supporting its sophomore album, The Color and the Shape. Next news. Thank you. To win the Stanley Cup each of the past 2 years, the Tampa Bay Lightning had to go through the stingy New York Islanders, defending Dallas Stars, and Montreal Canadiens, backstopped by goaltender Carey Price. To hoist it to a third consecutive time, they'll need to stop or at least slow down the highest scoring team in the playoffs. The Colorado Avalanche present a unique challenge for the Lightning, but they already got past the offensive, potent Toronto Maple Leafs and Florida Panthers to reach the Cup final. In quotes, it's funny how it works out that way, but the guys have found a way, and we've just had to adapt our game and find ways to beat teams. End quotes. Coach John Cooper said. Next news. Two worlds of competitive golf collided this week at the U.S. Open. One world seeks to blow up the status quo, posing the largest threat to the PGA Tour in its 54-year history. It is spearheaded by the six-time major winner and fan favorite Phil Mickelson, who, along with former number one Dustin Johnson, took home $150 million or more to leave the sport's preeminent tour and play in the new Saudi-backed LIV Golf Series. The other world is inhabited by the likes of Ben Silverman and Davis Shore. They are among the young, the journeymen, the amateurs, and the dreamers who made it through the qualifying to earn spots in the 156-player field at the Country Club outside of Boston, starting Thursday. This has been the daily global news update in English of Millennium News TV 24/7. It's my honor and privilege to do the news for you. My name is Todd. Please log in to get the latest news on all of our social networking sites: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok. On TikTok, we're Millennium News 24. Also, our YouTube channel is News Channel M24. Viewers out there in TV land, now on both network broadcasting, Android and iOS devices, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV. Also, all smart TV platforms, the smart TV platforms, all of them. Please enjoy our entertainment, our latest news, views, and editorials. Our Millennium TV apps, Millennium TV USA, Android. Millennium News, Google. www.millenniumtv24.com. Thank you for watching Millennium News 24. We wish you a blessed day. Thank you and peace out.